I'm in.
Here we go.
Tired of the everyday grind? Want to get away from it all?
Descent into paradise.
Florida.
Greetings, everybody, from sunny Florida. Here's wishing you the best of everything. And it's my personal belief that the best of everything comes from right down here.
Well, hello again, everybody. This is Steph from JustADayInParadise.com, and welcome to episode 15 of Just a Podcast in Paradise. Me and the Dip crew love living in the Sunshine State, and it's our goal to help you plan for your very own day in paradise. With all there is to see, do, and experience, we know that planning for your Florida vacation can be overwhelming, so don't worry, because we've got your back. We'll do the research, and you reap the benefits. Also, guys, what kind of friends would we be if we didn't offer you something to drink or a snack while we hang out? So for today's episode, we've got some butterbeer with us. We're ready if you are, so kick up your feet, throw on your shades, and let's take a trip to paradise. Okay, so we've got Garrett and Megan not in the studio with us today, but on the line, the hotline
studio.
bling.
Sad.
It is sad.
Pretty sad, yeah. We want to be back in that big, large,
The biggest, brightest
open studio
I've
that
ever
we
seen.
have great chairs, really great comfy chairs.
Uh-huh.
Just a lot of room.
Bottle
you know?
service.
Yeah,
bottle
definitely.
service.
I want the beverages that
Mhm.
come along
That's
with
a good-
being in the
that's a good
studio.
part.
Yeah, it sucks because I'm sipping on a delicious butterbeer right now.
I'm sipping
I'm
on
gonna have
water.
a beer. I'm going to have a beer. Actually, real quick.
Yeah. Ooh, that
There we
was
go.
muy authentico. What kind of beer are you drinking?
Michelob
What was that, sir?
Michelob Ultra.
Michelob
Oh, that's
Ultra?
boring.
It's very
Okay.
boring, yeah.
It's fine. It'll do. I mean, it's not butterbeer. It's not magical, but it's still beer.
Yeah. I think butterbeer has more alcohol than Michelob Ultra.
I think so. This actually has some vanilla whiskey in it.
Mm.
Yep.
Is that the what's it called? Crown Royal?
It is. It is Crown Royal. Only the best stuff around here.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. So next time you guys
Cool,
come over,
cool.
I'll have to make you around.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm very
Please do. I love butterbeer.
Yeah,
I
that's
usually
exactly
get
what
one
I do.
regular and one frozen during my park trip.
I've never had a
If
frozen
we go
one.
one day, oh really?
I heard the frozen ones aren't as good.
I
I
only
think it's
had the
good.
frozen ones until Megan, and I like the non-frozen ones better too.
Really? Okay. Well, I guess maybe we can do, or you guys can go on your trip and maybe do a side by side. Which one is better?
Yeah,
It's different. In the summer, like when it's so hot, I like the frozen. And with the frozen, you can mix the frothy, whippy, creamy stuff on top into the drink.
Mm.
Or
Frothy,
sometimes
whippy,
it's like
creamy?
the liquid one. It's like the topping like eludes you. Like when you go to sip it, like moves away. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do know
Like-
what you mean. You really got to get in there.
the eluding topping whippy creamy.
I heard while I was researching to make somewhat of an adult version of butterbeer, I heard that the two guys that came up with the final recipe that's in the parks, it took them like 2 years to perfect it.
Wow.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
They did
It's
good.
not my
Pretty
thing.
magical.
I think it's too sweet. That's
It is
just
pretty
my
sweet.
opinion. But like, it's I know how delicious it is to a lot of people. So like, I appreciate what they've done.
Yeah, and it was like, as much as it's a little too sweet and I wouldn't want one every day, I feel like it is exactly what I expected. Like, or
I think
what I would
Megan
want
wants
it
one
to
every
be.
day.
Yeah. I mean, are you guys still there? Did I hang up on you? Can you hear me?
I mean, I feel
know
like
what I did.
maybe
I'm really sorry.
I mean, of course,
Yeah.
vodka is really good.
All right.
What happened?
Steph, we've just continued as if you didn't get dropped out. Just so you know.
You continued?
Did it still record or no? Does it not matter? Was that dumb?
No, I mean, because it's not connected, so it would never hear what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
He talks about. I wasn't sure. Steph got dropped out of the call.
Oh,
dropped
right.
out.
Yeah, I dropped out. So you guys were just
Like I dropped out of college.
Well, what we were discussing is that there's no alcoholic butterbeer at the park.
There is?
I don't know
There's
if there
not.
is.
Oh,
That's
there's
what
not.
that
I don't
was
think
my
there is.
Argument.
Yeah, there should be. I just made one. It's
but
delicious.
what alcohol would be good with it?
So I think I heard you say vodka. So I think it depends because I was kind of like, oh, what should I put in here? And I kind of thought vodka because I thought it would be like the least flavorful. But I went with the vanilla whiskey because you know how butterscotch has that like sort of like salty,
very sweet
like
taste.
more, yeah, but there's like something. It's not just sweet. It's not like caramel or it's like just straight sugar. Like there's still like a more savory piece to it. So I feel like the whiskey added that little extra depth, and then with the vanilla, it's really good.
Wait, why not butterscotch schnapps?
Well, I didn't have
'Cause that's
butterscotch
too much
schnapps,
butterscotch.
but I thought it would be. I mean, if you did it, like if you added it to this, I think it would still be a little too sweet. But you know what? Maybe we'll just experiment.
Yeah, experiment time.
Yeah, we'll have a round 2 when you guys are
segment
finally
on
in
the
the
show.
studio. Yeah.
Well, we've really
Experiment
talked a lot
time.
about butterbeer.
We sure have. It's a very serious topic,
it's
obviously.
the signature drink of the episode.
Right.
Of course, we're going to talk about butterbeer.
Right, and it's
But we're
important.
not just talking about the Wizarding World.
We're not.
I know, but I mean, what else? I mean, come on, it's the best part.
Pineapple Dole Whip.
Well, that's what we're going to figure out is exactly where you need to be because there's a few months left of 2020. What theme park makes the most sense? Maybe a different park. Well, right. Half of 2020 never happened.
We're halfway done.
Yeah. But maybe the cocktails that they're serving at the park is really important to you, and that's why you make your decision because butterbeer is a pretty compelling reason to visit Islands of Adventure. I guess it's at both parks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So with only 5 months left in 2020 and Corona safety guidelines in full swing, there are a lot of people that are trying to plan summer and fall theme park trips and not sure where to go or what's going to be the best for them and their crew. So I don't know if you guys have been on the Twitterverse. I know you're trying to wean yourself off social media, but outlets are all aflutter with what is and isn't going well at some of our treasured parks. So I thought we could go over what exactly is going well, what's going right, and where people might want to go. So have you guys actually seen any of the stories coming out of the parks lately?
Well, I am part of I'm part of an annual pass holder group with Universal, so on Facebook. So I see a lot of like, what's going on and how it's working, and I've heard great things. Like I've heard that they've done really well. They've been doing it a little bit longer than anybody else seems. But they're strict on masks, but they're not like. It's not like it's just impeding with your time. Like you're still having a great time. And one thing that I know that they are doing or allowing that Disney is not are like what was the kind of mask that I was wearing when we were in Key West?
The Buff brand masks, yeah.
Yeah, that's just a brand, but yeah, just the cloth that goes around your neck and you put it over your face really easily is for fishing. They're allowing that, but Disney is not.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I think the only difference is that the buff doesn't hook around your ears, but I feel like for the sake of, holding in your mouth germs, it does the same.
Well, now, I mean, don't quote me on it just because I had heard that. I'd heard that from that group. But I mean, multiple people had said it. I just don't know for sure. I don't want to.
Yeah, and things even change every day. So yeah, we'd probably want, if you had a specific modified sort of masks. I know some places aren't letting you in if you have the masks that have that like ventilator thing in them. So I'd say if you have a specific mask that you like, I think it's because if you don't have it's supposed to have a filter in there. So if you don't actually put the filter in there, it's letting a lot more air in and out, but you wouldn't know it from the outside looking in. I think that's the logic, but I'm not sure. Did I cut you off, Meg?
No, you're good.
Okay. So it's funny. I was thinking back to episode 1, where we spent a lot of our time speculating as to what reopening theme parks was going to look like. And I went back and looked at some of our show notes, and some of what we foresaw actually came true. We're like clairvoyants.
Yeah.
So things like pass holder previews, modifications to the Fast Pass system at Disney, and certain safety guidelines. So was there anything?
What's the difference there? The fast pass system. I didn't know that actually happened.
So there is no fast pass system right now. So
okay.
certain.
So that is a modification, I guess.
Yeah. So right now, the biggest thing, and we'll dive into a little bit of detail, but the biggest thing that has changed for Disney is the reservation to get into the park. So rather than modifying fast passes, they're limiting how many people can get into the parks every day, and you have to make a reservation to go. And there's deterrence from like canceling last minute. You can't park hop anymore, so it's really limiting traffic. Even some rides, it seems like they're closing down throughout the day. Like Slinky Dog Dash was closed yesterday, which usually has a lot of people in line. So they're really trying to push traffic in different ways rather than having people standing around and waiting in line.
I didn't realize you couldn't park hop. I get to like the intent behind it, but that's a big part of like why I got an annual pass. You know?
Absolutely. And
you know,
same. I mean, Universal, I guess it's a little bit easier to do just because it's so much easier to go from one park to the other, from either walking out of the park and walking into the other one or taking the Hogwarts Express, my favorite way to get to the other park. I think it's just a lot easier for them to regulate it and all that. If Universal was kind of the same way Disney is, where you kind of have to get in your car and go to the other park, like I think it'd be in the same boat. I think
I think Universal over the years has like turned into one giant park, you know, with so many other tickets, you know, being like multi-day, multi-park tickets. Same for pass holders.
And we'll see what happens when Epic Universe finally comes.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited. I was looking at some of the
yeah, me too.
We should do an episode.
How to Train Your Dragon Land, I'm so pumped for.
And that's where they're going to put Nintendo World, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Which is like a long time coming. Like that should have been a thing long ago.
Well, they've been talking about it forever, and you know, there was some rumors like maybe 3 or 4 years ago that they were going to add an island to Islands of Adventure that was Nintendo, and it never came to fruition. So I wonder if it was just an early rumor of Epic Universe, or maybe they just like tabled it and now they're adding it to this park. So I'm not sure how it really evolved.
What I heard was Seuss Landing was going to be it at one point. Like that's what I had heard. I heard rumors of that just due to, you know, that kind of being, and I love Seuss Landing still, but like it's a little outdated for the. Yeah,
it is. I mean, youth. It was cool. I think when the park first opened, and it made, you know, a little bit more sense.
It's the only thing that really hasn't been that modified.
Right.
It's the only one that's really not been modified at all.
Right. I mean, it's kind of sucks. Toon Lagoon's outdated as well.
Yeah, Toon Lagoon's dope.
I love Toon Lagoon.
I agree. It has some of my favorite water rides anywhere.
2 of the best water rides in Florida, I think.
Yeah, what is it? Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. That's a good one.
And the Popeyes like barge. I don't even remember exactly what it's called, but you get so wet. It's so fun.
That's one that I don't go on every time because you get so
literally
wet.
The first drop, I got soaked. I got soaked on the first drop of the ride.
It's hilarious.
It is. That's a fun one.
Part of the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
We were halfway through the ride before Megan got really wet. I was soaked the first dip.
It's great.
And then like all the strangers on the ride point and laugh at you.
Yeah,
it's like part of it.
And that's why you need powder.
that ride is why you need powder.
Exactly, because you are going to be creating some friction after you get soaked on that ride. So.
Oh God. Oh yeah.
So I'm going to bring the train back on the tracks. So thinking back to episode 1 when we made some of those predictions, was there anything that has changed as we start hearing about the phased reopening that you didn't expect, good or bad?
Something can I go?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Something I think is odd is that you have to wear masks on rides, but not water rides.
Right. That is odd.
How is that? If the masks help, does the water cancel it out? Is the water your mask?
I heard a rumor that they've replaced most of the water with hand sanitizer.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So you're actually cleaner when you get off the ride.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Because that water
rides here
before they changed it to hand sanitizer. Right. That water ain't clean.
But yeah, that is a weird one. Yeah, you know, I feel like if it was that serious, maybe they just shouldn't run their water rides. But I don't really know what the logic is.
Yeah, and I don't want a wet mask. That's right, for sure.
And I think I agree with Megan on that. Just because, like, I don't understand the reasoning why you would need to have masks on while riding the ride.
Yeah.
To me, it kind of scares me because the roller coaster, you go pretty fast. It's intense.
Yeah. What if you like?
Yeah.
What if it got like sucked into your face and you choked on it?
I know that's what I like imagine happening, but I guess it's not going so fast. Like your like skin is flying back, so you gotta be okay.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I'm hearing solid things from the annual pass holder group I'm in. I like that I get to hear a little bit more about it, and I haven't heard too much about Disney though, just because like it is a little bit more. It seems even more beta than one at Universal. Go ahead.
My previous experiences with Disney, it was so crowded and hot, but it was not as enjoyable as I remember it.
Yes.
And someone I know went recently, and it's a lot better of an experience because they're limiting traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a huge one. And I think that's kind of like an unintended consequence. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But there was some things that we weren't sure exactly how they were going to turn out. So character meet and greets. Think about waiting in line for like an hour to see Baymax or Mulan or whoever you want to see.
I remember how happy we were.
I know. And then we were like, oh my God. The line went around the building for miles. So we weren't really sure what that was going to look like because they said character meet and greets weren't happening, and they're not. But there's what they're calling. So there's two different ways you can see characters. You can see characters in what they call character cavalcades. So they're cavalcades. Cavalcades. What's a cavalcade, Megan?
I don't even know what you're saying. Cavalcade?
A cavalcade?
Cavalcade. A cavalcade is like a... Gosh, should I look up the definition?
I thought you said like a Henry Cavill.
It's sort of like a parade. A cavalcade. A cattle cave.
Like a cave.
It's where you keep your cows.
Like glass boxes?
Yeah.
Where you keep Henry Cavill.
Like the Pope. Mickey just rides around.
Yeah.
Like
they put your favorite characters in cages.
Right.
And you get to
That's a really good idea.
Miserable.
Cavalcade.
That chains around their neck.
A cavalcade this is the New Oxford American Dictionary, is a formal procession of people walking on horseback or riding in vehicles. So in this case,
you're telling me to ride on horses?
Yeah, no, they're not. Well,
if they're not on horseback, I don't want it.
Well, Merida has been seen riding around on horseback in the Magic Kingdom, which is pretty
that's cool.
Yep.
Does she have a bow and arrow?
I don't know if she has a bow and arrow. That'd probably be a lot.
Shoot you if you get too close.
Yeah, she's like, back up 6 feet.
Social distancing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're riding around in cars. They also have selfie spots where characters will come out in like like a little part of the park, where they might naturally turn up, and you can take selfies with them. So you can still kind of get that picture with your character. And what's a little bit different is none of this is going to be found on a park map. They're all a complete surprise. So you can't camp out like you would for a parade. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
Which is good.
Yeah, I like it. Because I like to see characters, but I hate waiting in line to see them, especially because I'm usually the tallest person waiting. And, it feels weird. But this is
I remember when we were at Magic Kingdom in October. I remember we were walking through. I think we weren't leaving yet, but I remember everybody stopped for the parade, and I've never seen Megan more horrified of crowds before because it was so that you could not move.
Yeah, it's
you literally couldn't move.
Yeah.
If you weren't watching the parade, you had to. You had to watch the parade.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a lot, and people will camp out for hours with lawn chairs and stuff to try to see the parade.
Yeah.
So now it eliminates people kind of loitering in one space. So not only is it good if you're concerned about social distancing, but it's really just better in general to be surprised, I think, than to have to waste half of your day waiting for something like that.
You can camp out in lawn chairs, but not stools, huh, Steph?
Right, exactly.
No
they do not
allowed.
let stools in the park. So one other thing that I did not foresee that is not only an issue at Disney or, any theme park, but it's kind of an issue everywhere. There's no more buffets, guys.
It's very sad.
What's a vacation without one or two good buffets,
Oh, God.
Bloody Mary bars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shut up, Megan.
Gone.
I can't do it. I can't even think about it anymore.
Breakfast,
It's so awful.
Make your own
Bloody
waffle
Mary bars.
station.
Yep. Nope. Done.
Wait, does that mean continental breakfast at like Hampton Inns
They're
aren't
not happening
at all anymore?
We were at a Hampton Inn recently, and they
awful.
had like little paper bags with like miscellaneous
Oh.
cold breakfast items.
You know, Hampton Inn, underrated. I like Hampton Inn.
They're usually pretty cheap, though.
But no breakfast? Come on.
I know. Yeah.
What am I paying for?
What am I paying for? So yeah, so that's something
It's
that we
very
didn't
sad.
foresee. It is sad, and it's like I think it's one of those things that you don't even know what you had until it was gone. Like I would never have said that I care about buffets, but now that I can't have one, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, I care about buffets.
I didn't cherish my last buffet.
Exactly.
Wait.
Had I known, I would have maybe gone through the line one more time.
Has anyone checked on Golden Corral?
Are they still open?
I don't know.
Like, are they
in business?
done?
Because that's a fun treat every
It
now
is.
and then.
Let's
you-
have a
Couple yeast
moment
rolls
of
in your
silence.
pockets?
Let's have a moment of silence for all of our fallen buffet restaurants.
Oh gosh, buy sweet tomatoes.
Any sort of Chinese buffet.
Yeah.
Sad. Is
All
that
you
it?
can eat
Is that all we
sushi.
can think of?
All you can eat sushi isn't a buffet, Megan.
It's really just it's
There's
just a contest.
sometimes they are.
Just a buffet in the back.
Gosh,
Yeah,
well,
they
hopefully
get it
they'll
from the
come up
buffet.
with some workarounds for this because buffets are a cherished vacation activity. Okay, so let's move on to what's happening now. So there's always pros and cons to visiting each theme park, but with all the changes that have rolled out, these lists have shifted a little bit. So first, let's review how attendance and visits are working at each park, and then we can share what your ultimate recommendations are. I already think I know what Garrett says. He's chomping at the bit, but we're going to see what's right for different kinds of people, maybe, because there's pros and cons to each. So Disney World, here's some changes. They have the new reservation system, which we talked about a little bit. You download My Disney Go app, and you can purchase your park tickets and then make a reservation for the day that you like. Right now, they are booking through September. So important. No more fast passes, which, I mean, there's pros and cons. I know for me, getting fast passes for a day or, a trip that you're taking, it can almost become like a compulsive addiction. Like if you're trying to get on Frozen Ever After, like I always am, and I'm checking like every single second to see if I can get fast passes. I went on once and it broke in the middle of it. It was really sad. Once I got fast passes and the ride broke down while I was in the middle of waiting in line, couldn't go, and then it broke while I was on it, so I was bummed. But anyway, so the character cavalcades have changed, the selfie spots. There's limited transportation because they are spacing people out on the buses. So if you're used to taking your bus from the resort, they have put partitions and what do you call it? What is it? Plexiglass? Is that what the material is? So they put that between the seats. They also put like some, what do you call it when you pull down? It's not like, it's like a, I'm doing the motion like you can see me, but like blinds, but like a material. They've put that in the different cars on the monorail. They're not allowing park hopping. So, some things to think about depending on how many days you're going. Because if you're going to go for, a long weekend or something and try to hit every park, that might not be possible anymore. And then we've got some more important information from the phased reopening. So all 4 Walt Disney theme parks and Disney Springs are now open. Park attendance is managed via the Disney Park Pass reservation system. To enter a park, both a park reservation and a valid admission for the same day on the same park are required for guests ages 3 and up. Additionally, select Walt Disney World Resort hotels, including Disney Deluxe Villa Resorts, are open to guests. Upon reopening, parks, Disney Resort hotels, restaurants, and other offerings may be modified, and there's limited capacity within those. So certain restaurants, that are already hard to get into are going to be even harder to get into now. So make sure you have a reservation. And then there's advanced health and safety measures. So they are taking temperatures on the way into the park. You do have to wear your mask like we talked about. And there are some places throughout the parks, both at Disney and Universal, where you can take your mask off and rest for a little bit. So that's good to know in the heat. So the only thing, if you are an annual pass member or if you're thinking about becoming an annual pass member, you can make reservations for up to 3 days at a time. So they're trying to deter people from going ahead throughout the rest of the year and taking up all the reservations. You can only have 3 pending reservations at a time, and you are going to get penalized if you book and cancel trips. So make sure that you...
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So basically they're going to block you from continuing to book. So you can't just go in and keep changing the dates. Make sure you plan and know what everyone in your party wants to do before you make the reservation.
I like that.
Yeah. So Disney World has 4 parks. Can you name them, Meg?
Megan.
Of course I can.
Let's hear them.
Oh,
Epcot,
Yep.
Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom.
That's right.
what? How many parks are around the world, Megan?
I don't know. There's one in Tokyo, right? And there's one in California.
Mhm.
And 2 out.
2 in California.
Shanghai.
There's 1 in Hong Kong. And there's 1 in Shanghai. There's 1 in Paris. What else we got? What else is there?
The moon.
Moon.
Yep.
The Moon. That's a good one.
But it's a good
Yeah.
one.
Neil Armstrong, CEO of the Moon, Disney.
I think that's it for parks,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
there's
I don't know.
there's Tokyo Disney and then Tokyo Disney Sea. So technically, I guess that's 2 parks.
Oh yeah, that one's
Yeah,
good.
I want to go that. That's supposed to be the best one in the world.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
wow.
not in Florida, so we don't talk about it.
Anyway.
Yeah. So there's some cool perks to each of these parks. So Magic Kingdom, like I think you teased a little bit, Megan, has the shortest wait times pretty much ever in recorded history. I've been keeping an eye on the My Disney Go app to see what wait times are. Peter Pan's Flight is one of those that you typically can't get on without a fast pass. Like you're going to spend your whole day waiting in line. There's like a 2-hour wait always. And it's been 5-minute waits.
That's insane.
Insanity. So that's a pretty good reason. I mean, Magic Kingdom is the one park I think that has the most nostalgia for people. It's also one that has the most rides accessible to kids. So I think that's always going to be like the most packed. It's also one
I
of the
think
smallest.
that could be the reason why it's the most successful at this moment. Because I think more people, and correct me if I'm wrong, Steph, or if you think I'm wrong, but I think the people that are mostly going to these parks, during these times, are older people.
Yeah.
Not old people, but like
Not kids.
maybe
Not
a
kids.
little older,
Families,
a little
yeah.
older than us. Yeah, not a lot of kids. I think are going.
Yeah.
I
would
think
agree.
it's a lot more. Yeah, so that I guess that's a perk. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot
But I
more
think-
pass holders are going right now too.
If you're going with kids, that's the best. This is now a time to go. Especially younger kids who might not wait very well.
Oh yeah.
Right. I
Or
don't
go. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So that's
Yeah,
definitely a
I think
huge
it's
part
more.
for
I
Magic
think it's
Kingdom.
more safety precaution though for
Yeah.
parents. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Health concerns. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But I think that's a big pro for Magic Kingdom. And then for Epcot, they have Food and Wine opened when the park opened. It's earliest release ever. So this will be the longest running Food and Wine. It's pretty cool because
I'm
you can-
very excited about that. We're going.
Especially if you're an annual pass holder, you could go multiple times, even more times than you would normally be able to go. The Spaceship Earth refurbishment has been postponed. So they kind of sprung the
Sad.
Spaceship Earth closing on us. And now it's still running. So if you wanted to get one more trip down Spaceship Earth in the way that its current form, you can do that. I'm pretty
What are these
bummed.
looking
Sorry,
like? What are these refurbishments look like? Like, is it really that different? Like, because I haven't been so long, and now I'm like, I gotta get
the
there.
last
before.
so this iteration of Spaceship Earth, I think, is it Jeremy Irons or is it
Oh,
the one that's running now? Let me look it up. One sec.
Well, in the meantime, Epcot has, I think, the best food out of all the parks in Florida.
I can
Oh,
agree
yeah.
with that.
Yeah, the
So
food's
if you
incredible.
care about food, go to Epcot, especially during Food and Wine. It's true year round, but it's even more true during Food and Wine.
Oh,
I think that a lot of times you pay too much for disappointing food at a lot of the parks, but never really true at Epcot.
I agree. Sometimes the samples are. I think that the size is a little small, but
Mhm. Yes.
I can-
Just try more things. There's so much
You
to
can try
try.
all the things. You can just stay there and eat all day.
Oh.
There is one deterrent,
the
though,
corned
about the eating. Right now, if you're at any Disney park, they made a rule where you have to be stationary and eating. You can't walk and eat.
I'm angry.
Yeah. So I think what was
That-
happening...
What the heck is the point of a turkey leg?
You have to hold
a
still
turkey
and
leg,
eat it.
Come on.
ice cream cone.
Nope, you got to sit still.
Do you know how sad it looks to sit while eating a turkey leg?
Well,
Yeah.
you can stand, but you just can't walk. Because what was happening was people were getting food and walking around, so then no one was having masks, and then it's kind of hard to regulate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you
Smart.
could just be holding your
Those guys
turkey
are
leg,
innovators.
carry that turkey leg around the park all day, and then you never had to put your mask on, you know? So,
Innovators.
yeah, eating. But back
love
to
it.
the Spaceship Earth refurbishment. The last narrator was Jeremy Irons. This narrator is Dame Judi Dench, and there's been about 4 or 5 refurbishments since the ride's inception, and there's like small changes throughout each one. Like there'll be a different narrator with a somewhat different script, and the closing scene seems to change because as you move through
technology.
time, right, in Spaceship Earth, technology of course changes, so they modify that. So the last scene has been where you like take a picture of your face and you get to choose your future, and they kind of play your face dancing on a cartoon for the end of the ride.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it sounds like that's probably what's going to change. But that refurbishment has been postponed, and the ride is running and operating in its current form now. One that I'm pretty bummed about, I don't know if you guys will care or not, but they announced a Mary Poppins attraction for the UK pavilion, and that is now permanently canceled.
Canceled?
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm not sad.
I love
But
Mary
like, this
Poppins.
is, I don't even care if I don't
think
like
that's
Mary Poppins
outdated.
that much. Well, the movie came out. The one with that.
There wasn't a
Emily
movie
Blunt.
with Emily
Yeah,
Blunt
but
in it.
like, we're done.
I don't know. Like, well, regardless, I don't care if I don't like the source material.
Mhm.
If I ever hear about a ride getting canceled,
It's sad.
That's always sad.
Right. And like sometimes even if you don't know the story, the ride's still going to be awesome, you know? So it sucks that
True.
that's getting canceled. But moving on over to Animal Kingdom, the largest park and seemingly one of the the least trafficked right now, the easiest to social distance, not very long wait times, is Animal Kingdom. No surprises there, I don't think.
I'm a little surprised.
Tell me why you're
Well,
surprised.
I guess because it is larger. Well, it's awesome. I mean, there's so many great
Yeah, it is a really cool park.
things to do there. Like I would have thought that would be the one that people would want to go to.
Mm-hmm. Dude, right now, last time I checked, 30-minute wait for Flight of Passage.
That's
Jeez.
crazy.
It
We
is
waited
What about
over 2
Kilimanjaro
hours.
Safari?
Right.
Yeah, that was.
So yeah, you
Megan
can
will
walk
never
on
go
some
that
pretty cool attractions. And last time I was in Animal Kingdom, it was packed. I couldn't believe how busy it was. And it takes away some of the the detail and the artwork that's all around. So it's nice to explore a park like that without a ton of people in it. So I think that's pretty cool. Hollywood
Agreed.
Studios, short wait times. Though apparently there's been some trouble over at Black Spire Outpost. The Rise of the Resistance seems to be breaking down a lot. So people are waiting for their boarding times and then they're not getting to go on. So that's a bummer. So just bear that in mind.
I think that's a ride that needs full capacity workers and as much attention to detail as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's these regulations are hurting that.
Yeah. That's a really good
Do
point.
we know anything about? Sorry, do you want to go ahead?
Go ahead.
But no.
About what they've done with like the Oga's Cantina and the lightsaber experience reservations? Like, did anyone that they canceled, they like reopened?
I haven't heard about the lightsabers, but I believe Oga's Cantina is still open. So you can go and get a drink. I know that with a lot of the bars in the parks, with the limited capacity, you got to get your stuff to go, or they're not going to let you in, depending on their normal policies and procedures. Yeah. So that's also
Really
kind of a
sad.
bummer. So if you want to sit around and have a drink and they're packed, you got to
And
go.
like enjoy the reasoning why you have this, this reservation. You know,
Right. Yes.
that's the whole reason. It's the ambiance.
Experience, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to just take the drink. I want to hang out and look at aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're a big Star Wars fan, it's a good time to go because you can really take it all in without having to worry about the crowds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not like the full experience. So
Yeah, it's not.
So
Same with the like characters that were typically coming around and interacting with guests. That's not really happening. So you're not getting that.
They
part
have
of the
masks
experience.
on.
I know.
They
So you
do.
can't really. Well, but Rey was known to like come out and ask you to help her evade stormtroopers, and
we
she's
saw her
not
when we were in
coming in.
line for
They were
Smuggler's Run.
fixing the Millennium Falcon. Her and
Yeah,
Chewie.
him and
Oh,
Chewie,
really?
yeah.
That's cool.
And Chewie, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
so
cool. It
I
was
hope
also
they find
30
some,
degrees outside.
Right. I hope they find
Freaking
some
awesome.
workarounds for stuff like that because I think that was a big draw. Why people wanted to be there. So it's a bummer.
Yeah. I remember when we were in line, Megan, we saw them come out and like Ray doesn't wear like a sweatshirt when she goes out when she's cold, and she was wearing her normal gear, and Megan's like, how
How
is
she
it happening?
Gangster,
with a
that's how.
jacket on. Yeah.
Yeah, she.
I mean,
kills
Chewie's fat,
stormtroopers.
obviously.
Right. Yeah, Chewie's good. He's
He's
got a
She's wearing
built-in
like
sweater.
no sleeves.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was awful.
I couldn't do that, but good for her.
Props to the
Props to
what are
Rey.
they? What are they called?
Cast members?
Cast
Cast
members.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to Universal. So Universal, it's a good time to visit because they've got some pretty good specials on hotels and tickets, even if you're not an annual pass holder.
Yeah.
'Cause, over at
It's
Disney,
unbelievable.
yeah, there's a lot of benefits if you're a pass holder, but not necessarily for somebody just wanting to go. So Universal is dishing out all the deals. Have you heard of
There's
any of them?
also a great benefit. Yeah. If you're not yet a pass holder but considering becoming one, you get 3 months free.
3 months free? That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're also
Disney's not doing
have,
that.
they also have something going on actually that was actually just announced a few days ago. I found it out on that group I'm in. But Florida residents, if they buy a ticket to Universal right now,
Mm-hmm.
they get to go every single day until December 24th.
Wow. So there's no blackout dates?
I think there's blackout dates, but like you can buy a 1-day park ticket and you'll be able to go. I mean, you can go again and again. Like it's not like
a half annual pass.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like a
I
semi-annual kind of
misspoke
pass.
on
No.
that.
That's okay. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
But for Florida residents, the Florida resident passes are freaking cheap. So
Yeah, that's
you
sick.
get essentially half an annual pass.
So that's really cool. Especially if you're local or somewhat local. There is something that just came out. It was like the day or the day before I was researching for this episode. I think because of all the great deals and because so many people were wanting to visit, they had to shorten up their hours. So now the parks are only open
6
until
p.m. It's
6
really
p.m.
tough.
Yeah, it's pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have the annual pass where Express starts after 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So we get 2 hours of Express now. I feel like they should bump that up to an earlier time.
That's a good point.
I
I
think
guess you don't
so,
really
too.
need it right now,
Mhm.
to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been seeing in the wait times, like it's still like it's not like it's just insanely long or anything, but like the Mummy yesterday was almost 30 minutes.
What about
that's
And
Hagrid?
like Hagrid, it said when I checked last, it was delayed. But I think they're all virtual line.
That's
And
fine, yeah.
Universal's working on some new stuff. They've got a Jurassic Park roller coaster coming.
So excited!
Yeah, I'm really
So
excited
excited.
about that. I don't know if
That's
there
gonna
is
be
there an
so much
opening
fun.
date yet for that.
No,
I
but
don't think so.
They put all the. It's funny because Universal does this thing where they'll announce kind of what the coaster is like or ride is like after it's already being like built.
Right.
And they did this thing where they're building this huge black roller coaster, and then like right when they finished putting the loop together, they just put a Jurassic Park flag on it. Like no one knew that it was a Jurassic Park ride before that.
That's awesome. Yeah, they definitely have a sense of humor when it comes to teasing attractions and things like that. So it looks like that's
Yeah.
going to be pretty cool. And the Jurassic Park
Very
IP
nice.
right now is off the chain. So I think that'll be really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. It's supposedly like the most intense coaster they've made.
Ooh.
Hulk's pretty darn intense.
Yeah,
Dang.
Hulk is crazy. That's still one of the best roller coasters ever, I think.
Oh my god, yeah.
So one thing that was a little bit confusing when I was looking at different annual park benefits, so if this is important to you, I would probably reach out to guest services before you book. But it's talking about special events. You know, like if you're an annual pass holder, you get perks to attend special events like Mardi Gras and Halloween Horror Nights. But we've heard that Halloween Horror Nights is canceled this year, so no word on some of the other special events. But if you were thinking about buying for that reason, that might not necessarily be true. So don't count on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very sad to hear that because it's so.
Megan called it the day before they announced it.
Really?
Yeah, Megan's like they're gonna close it. They're not gonna do it.
With our pass, you get one ticket to Halloween Horror Nights, but it's only certain dates, and we're getting closer and closer, and they weren't giving us any dates.
Yep.
Like, so how are we supposed to plan it? And then lo and behold, it got canceled, which I understand because you have to funnel people through there, which you really can't 6 feet apart.
Right.
So one, the coordinating of the scares would be difficult, and then two, the wait times would be absurd, and they're already crazy. Like if you don't have an express, you only get on like 2 or 3 houses.
Right.
Yeah, happy we got express.
You need express.
Yeah, it's a must.
Nights. Yeah, for sure. But we won't have to worry about that till next year. Hopefully we'll get to worry about it next year.
Megan was very bummed. I mean, I don't have to get a heart attack when I go now, which is nice. So I'm not. I mean, I'm
Do you
bummed,
get scared in the houses, Garrett?
I mean, I've thrown Megan to them before.
Use her as a human shield.
When we were in the one for us, that Jordan Peele movie, there was a part where you go through the house and it's a bunch of like people all dressed the same.
It's like circled around
like
you.
Some of them are mannequins, and some of them are real, and you can't tell the difference. And you're literally walking through a line of people just dressed in the same thing. Some of them are mannequins, some of them are real, and they just scare the crap out of you.
Oh, that's scary.
And they're all holding scissors.
They're all holding scissors. And I threw Megan to them.
I love Halloween Horror Nights because I don't necessarily like. Obviously, if someone's like sneaks up on you and screams, you're gonna get scared. But I love just the artistry that goes into all the different houses and like the detail that goes into all the environments. It's like such a cool thing to see, and they put so much work into it every year, and each year feels like it gets bigger and better. So it's definitely a bummer that it's not happening. I hope they figure
something
it out.
that we did hear that we were pretty happy to hear is that they're still doing the tribute store for it.
Oh, that's
I don't
cool.
know if anyone's familiar with the tribute store,
but I think they've already opened it, babe.
Almost like it's like an interactive shop. Like it's full of like decor and scenery from whatever's going on. Like they did it for Mardi Gras, they are doing it for Halloween Horror Nights. So at least we'll get that little taste, and it's really, really well done. They put a lot of effort into it.
And people love merch, so.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's cool.
Oh, I love my merch.
That's where you guys got those socks last year. The infamous socks.
Yeah. Those were good socks. Yeah. Underrated.
Yeah, they were good socks.
People don't appreciate the hard work that you guys did to find those awesome socks. All right, so we're going to take a drive down the road. Yeah. We're going to go to Seaworld. So Seaworld, I think for families, this should be up on the list. They are the only park in Orlando right now doing fireworks. Fridays and Saturdays only. So if you want to see some fireworks, go to SeaWorld. They also seems like they have the smallest crowds right now. And, don't stick your nose up at SeaWorld. This is not your grandma's SeaWorld. Back in the 70s, it was pretty much just Shamu, and that was it. So they've got some pretty good coasters there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so if you want to get some thrill rides in, get a pretty good deal on tickets. So what is there? There's Mako. There's Manta.
Manta, Kraken.
Yep.
And Infinity Falls.
Yep, Infinity Falls is open now.
Which looks so
Atlantis.
cool.
Yeah, so they've got some cool stuff. Yeah. So you could definitely spend a day there and just go on rides and have a good time.
Oh God, yeah.
And I'd like to dedicate some time to talk about the penguin ride.
Tell us about the penguin.
I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't been on it.
Okay.
But you're following a penguin through his little journey, and it's like animated. And then there's a beautiful, thrilling, chilling, emotional experience at the end.
notice.
I don't know. Should I say it? Should I tell them?
Don't tell them, Megan.
Don't
Don't
getting
spoil
hooked
it.
up. But you'll be so surprised and in a sense of wonder.
Yeah.
You have to go on it. You probably won't have to wait very long. We waited forever in the heat when we first went on it, and my God, was it worth it. I still think about it. No ride has ever given me such a thrill. I'm being completely honest.
Not even the Jimmy Fallon ride when you cried?
All right. I also cried in the penguin ride.
I think you have a problem.
I think sometimes it's really beautiful what we make for people to enjoy. It's super nice. Like, just so pure happiness.
Yep. And then when all the pieces come together, it's like you have the music and, the ride like physically transports you, and then you get like a surprise that you weren't expecting, and then throw some cute little animals in there, and it's a recipe for some tears. I totally get it.
Yes.
It's a great ride.
You got to ride it. Go to SeaWorld. I know that they get a bad rap, but they really do a lot to save animals. Yep. And because of their bad rap, they're not crowded, even, post-COVID, pre-COVID, if there ever is a post-COVID.
God, I hope so.
Megan,
don't jinx it. Don't put that out in the universe.
Come on, man. Don't say that.
Yeah, but
I can't take much more of this. I'm going to go back to work.
I know, this is sad. But yeah, so there's some good deals on tickets. You can get a 2-park ticket for any parks within the Anheuser-Busch umbrella in Florida. So you could get a day at SeaWorld and then a day at Busch Gardens, or you could go to Aquatica, or you could go to whatever that other one is, Adventure Island. So you pick which 2 parks you want to be able to visit in 2 days. So that's pretty cool.
There's something we forgot to add.
What's that?
About Universal.
Tell us.
You can add Volcano Bay to your ticket for $40,
You can, yes. You can add Volcano Bay for just $40, which is a pretty awesome park.
There's also something else I learned about that Volcano Bay has and I'm very interested in.
Okay.
They have something called the Waturi Fusion, which is like a rainbow ice cream cone that has 4 different flavors in it. And it, not only is it like super postable, but I heard it's one of the most delicious things you can get.
Good to know. And what park is that at?
That's at Volcano Bay.
That's fun. And if you're staying on property, and there's some great deals starting at $79 a night to stay at a Universal hotel, you can pretty much just walk to Volcano Bay and Islands of Adventure and Universal. So it's pretty cool if you don't want to travel and bring your car, or you have a lot of people with you. It's a good deal. So let's move over to Tampa and visit Busch Gardens. Have you guys been to Busch Gardens in a while?
Oh,
no.
God, I wish. I love Busch Gardens. It's one of my favorites.
Cool. Yeah, they've got some good
favorites.
rides. They've got some great animal attractions. It's a pretty big park, so you could definitely spend multiple days there. They are also using a reservation system. They are having fireworks as well. And it's cool because it gets you out of Orlando. If you're not, maybe you want to go to a park, but you don't want to be in all the chaos that is Orlando, you can go over to Tampa and have some fun. So Legoland, I've never been.
Ooh.
I feel like this one is really for kids or parents with kids.
Yeah,
I think
I've
it's
heard
like
that.
Chuck E.
It's
Cheese.
for younger
You really
kids.
don't want to go there if you don't have kids. You're going to look like a creep. But they've got the cheapest annual pass. They've got great deals for family with kids. I didn't write it down, but it was like just about $100, like $106 or something cheap. Attractions look pretty cool. They have a VR coaster, which is fun. They have a water ride.
I think it's Lego Movie.
Where you can, it might be Lego Movie, because there's like a whole Ninjago section of the park. And then there's like a water ride where you build your own raft out of Legos and like ride it. Like giant Legos, so that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they have lots of playground areas and like little like splash pads and stuff for kids. They have made it abundantly clear on their website that they will open and close those at will, depending on traffic. But they are sanitizing. They have sanitation stations all over the park. So I wouldn't go there saying that you're definitely going to get to use the playgrounds because they might be closed that day. But if they're open, they look pretty neat. No, you guys are gonna be bummed about this. The Holy Land is closed.
Oh,
I know.
No.
Yep. So you're gonna have to talk to
honestly
Jesus
don't know
on your
that.
own time, because you're not gonna do it at the Holy Land.
What's Holy Land?
The Holy Land is a park and like museum exhibition about like Bible times. You know, so you can go and
Bible
like see
time.
reenactments of things that happened in the Bible. I've actually been there. I've been
Did you
everywhere.
cry?
I did not cry.
It's the same
Not that
kind of
there's anything
experience
wrong
as
with
the
crying
Penguin,
at
essentially.
the theme park, but I did not. So, based on everything that we know about the conditions of the parks right now, who would you recommend which parks to?
Adults, Universal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think adults, families with teenagers is also a good one because you'll be a winner
Yeah.
if you take your kids to Universal or
I
your
think-
teenagers.
Epcot for adults as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely if you like eating
And
and drinking.
even Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I think that's a good
You know
one.
what I think? I think that Epcot should have a time where they only allow adults in.
Oh gosh, that would be cool. Like an after
Like,
hours
maybe like-
Epcot.
Not for very
Yeah,
long,
after hours.
but like just not even after hours, but just maybe like a day or a day every few months or something like that.
Adults
Because
day.
there's so many fun things to do for adults there that like sometimes you don't want to have kids with you.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
me, though.
really want kids screaming around me all the time. I get that I'm
Yeah,
at a
especially
Disney
while I'm
park, but-
drinking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, adults only World Showcase. I would probably go that day.
Oh my god, yeah.
Any other thoughts? Any other parks that you think it's like a must do right now?
Honestly, I mean, it
SeaWorld.
seems like Magic Kingdom's a great time to bring your children for
Yeah.
wait times because I know a lot of kids are very impatient.
Yes.
Yeah, I
It's-
agree.
It's hard.
If you have kids,
Even with the best
It's a good
patience,
time.
it's hard waiting in line in 100-degree heat. So yeah, I think Magic Kingdom is
Yeah.
good with kids. I think anybody on a budget, totally go to SeaWorld. SeaWorld's fun.
I love SeaWorld.
Yeah. So I
I
think
love
that's
it so
a good
much.
one.
I slept there one night.
I know, I'm so jealous.
They're great.
Oh gosh.
So much fun.
All right, cool. Any final thoughts?
I think go. I think
Yes,
if you're,
go.
if you feel comfortable health wise, mentally, all the things, go because it's never going to be this like much time, to experience it because especially in the summer when all the kids are out of school, it's insane. I mean, It's never going to happen again.
Yeah, that's a really
I
good
think-
point. This is once in a lifetime, hopefully. So yeah, this is going to be a really unique park experience.
I think Megan's brought up a good point there, but also the opposite. If you're not comfortable, don't go, and don't
Yes.
judge people for wanting to go.
Yep.
I think that's something that is happening a lot, and just live your life. If you don't want to do it, don't do it, and don't judge other people for doing it.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think people are, on edge and maybe desperate to get out of their house and maybe criticizing
That's all I was
certain
thinking.
things. But
I was
yeah,
thinking
but
about
don't
that all the
go
time
if you're not
when
cool
I-
with going. Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't do it, and just let other people
Go have
live their
fun.
life.
Right. Very cool.
Let them have fun. If you don't have fun, just sit in your room.
Yeah, go to
Okay.
your room. Go to your
Not going to
castle.
judge you for sitting in your room.
All right, guys. So it is now time for our Just a Day in Paradise trivia challenge. You are playing for one of our sweet sticker packs that represent some of our favorite places in Florida. Here we go. This refurbished Florida coaster takes thrills to new heights, plunging riders from a 206-foot tall
Oh.
peak into a 91-degree drop and reaching top speeds of 76 miles per hour. Riders will experience... What?
It goes that fast.
It goes
I didn't
that
realize
fast.
that. I know what you're talking about. That's why I asked.
Oh, well, it's really fast, Garrett. Riders are gonna
don't.
experience a dozen airtime moments, including 3 inversions, as they sink their teeth into crocodile-inspired thrills. The newest addition to Florida's family of coasters will be a wood and steel hybrid design. The ride will feature all new thrill elements as well as restored elements of its original form. What is the name of this famous attraction? Garrett knows what it is. Don't say it, Garrett. If you think you know the answer, let us know on Twitter at The Dip Crew or email me at steph@justadayinparadise.com. We will select one winner at random and shout you out on our Instagram story. So good luck. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Just a Podcast in Paradise. We know you have your choice of travel podcasts, and we thank you for choosing to travel with us. We would love it if you would subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and give us a 5-star review if you enjoyed your time with us today. You can also follow us on Instagram at Just Take a Dip for daily updates on what's happening around Florida, and check out our YouTube channel, Just a Day in Paradise, for destination ideas, restaurant reviews, unboxing things you might want to take on your trip, and copycat recipes from some of our favorite places in paradise. We're wishing you a little bit of sunshine wherever you are, and we hope to see you in paradise soon. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Happy
Bye.
to be back.
Yes! We'll get you in the studio next time. Thanks for coming. Are you guys going to go to Orlando this
Having
weekend?
us.